It appears GB News interview with the Chancellor breached impartiality rules, says Ofcom. Let's read into this more from the BBC, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from the BBC with the headline that GB News interview with the Chancellor breached impartiality rules, says Ofcom. Ooh. Now, this is not the first time that GB News have breached impartiality. Well, I think they've been breached impartiality rules before. I could be wrong, but they've definitely towed the line. And I have not seen the interview, but what I will say is that you cannot take this news channel seriously, and things like this tells you everything you need to know about what they are broadcasting. There's a reason why I intentionally and deliberately do not watch anything from them. I know there's certain YouTubers I watch that does cover interviews and that to call them out, but sometimes I feel like it's better not to even give them any attention whatsoever. But on this occasion, considering what they are on this, I think the fact that Ofcom are saying they breached impartiality rules, I think this is worth highlighting. So let's dive into it, guys. GB News preached impartiality rules in an interview with Jeremy Hunt, the broadcasting watchdog has found. Philip, Davies and Esther McVey, two Tory MPs who host a regular show on the channel, interviewed the Chancellor ahead of the spring budget in March. The watchdog said the interview failed to introduce an appropriate wide range of significant views. GB News said it was disappointed by the decision and called Ofcom's definition of impartiality imprecise. Yeah, because it's not impartial that a Tory Chancellor is being interviewed by two Tory MPs on a right-wing, allegedly, a right-wing so-called media show. There's nothing, I mean, it's definitely not biased in any way, shape or form, is it, guys? Surely not. No? Yeah, it's definitely a one-sided interview, isn't it, to be fair, guys? I mean, how can you take that seriously? You're not going to put a Labour person on. You're not going to put a left person on. You're not even going to put a centrist in that interview. And you're going to have a Chancellor, who's a Conservative Chancellor, being interviewed by two Conservative MPs. That tells you everything you need to know about it. In its submission to Ofcom, GB News argued the programme, which includes multiple guests, gave due weight to other views. The broadcaster argued the interview was approached from the perspective of the right, and it allowed a free debate on a wide range of views. This is the third breach of Ofcom rules recorded against GB News since it was first launched in June 2021. The watchdog has 6 further investigations opened into portrayal breaches of impartiality on the channel, including 2 more against shows fronted by husband and wife duo Mr Davies and Mrs McVey. GB News employs several sitting Conservative MPs as hosts, including Deputy Party Chairman Lee Anderson and former Cabinet Minister Jacob Rees-Mogg. Yeah, nobody from Labour. You're going to tell me this is fair? Ofcom rules ban serving politicians from acting as news presenters, interviewers or reporters on television and radio stations unless they are exceptional circumstances. However, politicians are allowed to host discussions about current affairs. They are too soft, Ofcom. They're way too soft. When Labour get into power, they need to, I mean, it's not on the priority, but they need to address this. They need to force Ofcom's hands. They need to change the rules in such a way that, yeah, that they are actually, if they're going to be hosting anything, it needs to be, I think it should be non-political unless they're being a guest on something. Labour need to do something, because this is misinformation, it's one-sided arguments, and it's manipulating people, and it needs to stop. There needs to be 2 sides of an argument, and people have a right to hear both sides, and they're not getting that opportunity with this channel. In total, 45 complaints were made to Ofcom about the impartiality of the pre-recorded interview of Mr Hunt on Saturday morning with Esther and Phil, broadcast on the 11th of March. The interview with Mr Hunt was subject to heightened special impartiality requirements because it came 4 days before the spring statement Ofcom found. Spring statement, which sets out the government's economic forecast and policy for the coming months, is the second most important physical event in Parliament each year after the annual budget. Ofcom found that Mr Hunt's interview and subsequent debate overwhelmingly reflect the views of those in the Conservative Party. Yeah, I wonder why. There were only very limited references to wider perspectives on UK economics and physical policy in the context, Ofcom added. Ofcom said the programme did not breach the rules on politicians presenting news programmes, as this programme was classed as current affairs. Yeah, okay. Sure it was. Ofcom, which has the power to revoke broadcasting licence, did not suggest any penalty under partiality law. Responding to Ofcom's latest decision, a GB News spokesperson said the broadcaster will reflect on Ofcom's view. They added, GB News chose to be regulated by Ofcom. We are proud to be a part in bringing in a wider range of options to Britain's media landscape. We take compliance seriously and we believe our programme embraced this. So they didn't say, they're not saying here that they are a news media outlet, but they are accepting that they are that they are opening a wider range of Britain's media landscape. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to see it. I've seen enough clips, I've seen enough videos of GB News around on social media to know the kind of content that they are providing, and it's not fair debates are not taking place on there, and I think those who are from the centre or from the left who do go on there, I mean, you're going to be at a disadvantage, that's for sure. It's a very small section of society that does watch GB News as well, and I don't know what more Ofcom can really do, but I do hope that the laws are changed and Ofcom are given more powers to do more sanctions on the likes of GB News, because we don't want, if they're going to present news, they need to be more fair, more balanced when it comes to it. Yes, I've heard the fair share of criticisms of the likes of Sky and BBC and whatnot, but they are way too right wing when it comes to their coverage of things. What do you guys think of this? Are you surprised by this? This is the third time now that Ofcom has kind of dropped a clanger on them. What should Labour do if they get into power when it comes to things like this? Should they give Ofcom more powers? Should they change the rules so that that may be in the interest of the British public? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching as always, and be sure to check out some of my other links in the description down below as well. And I hope to catch you all very soon.